Alright, I am back after having to take last week off because I wasn't feeling too well, and it's actually because of that I'm deciding to be in Satisfactory instead of in Cedar Centauri, because I still have the notes for the stuff I want to talk about and figure, okay, I'll go through them from last week as well. Alright, so let's unmute. I already have it loaded up, I just need to change there. But yeah, I wasn't feeling all that well last week, so I didn't want to be on mic. Partly that, and I wasn't sure how long I could spend sitting at the computer before I'd feel like I wanted to just lie down. It impacted some other stuff too, but I am feeling much better now, so we can do all this. And actually, as you can see, I did do, because the last time I was in Satisfactory and streamed, I said that it's like now that could finally have coal and coal power, because as you can see, it can be automated. You can have the coal feed from a source directly into it. I'm doing that, and I did set up some stuff so that I could build up the foundations, connecting me from. Give me that. Connecting from my base all the way over there, and you can see it connects to here, so everything is aligned as well. Just so. Alright, so let's get down there. But because I last saved over here, I figured I would come back. I have left these in place in part, so because they'll help with getting over there to the yellow power slug over there. And I did accidentally screw one thing up. What was it? Because I had something being scanned. I don't remember what it was now. I did take that and put something else in. Oh wait, that's what I should. That's it.
Additional samples are required for R&D to continue developing a defense-oriented blueprint. The creature has been named Phacocoirus plumiuscata, or fluffy-tailed hog.
Yeah, so whatever I gave it, that, I don't remember exactly what I gave it, but that's what it was. That's what it triggered. It's kind of nice I was able to play it back. Interesting that's not clearing them. Alright, keep going. Have another limestone source here I discovered. Is it normal or pure? This is... now I did set up some automation. And I'll get to the stuff I want to talk about. Wow, screen space. Screen space effects do get annoying at times. Because yeah, the shadow shouldn't move like that. But once I get back and talk about a little bit of things, then I'll turn to the note. Yes, and I reran power poles, and hopefully something I will remember. This is... Wait. That's in the wrong spot. So I put in the effort to connect everything. It matters to me to keep things in the correct position. So the power poles I always try to put in the northwest corner. And, yeah, work out from there. So that was in the northeast corner, and I don't want it there. It just makes some alignment stuff easier. Alright, I put down the powered miners, so not just the portable miners, at all the different locations. So this is the copper. And I set up a smeltery to it as well. So it takes the copper ore, smelts it, and it puts it in here, and currently that's it. I haven't taken the time to set up constructors for that. I did set some up for the limestone to make concrete because I needed concrete for all this stuff. I mean, each one of these is 6, and the ramps are 5. Yeah, I needed to do that. The next thing I need also is this, because you so need the splitters and mergers. Oh my god, you need them so much. But yeah, so as you can see, I have this iron source set up to 1 smelter, which is not good because that is producing way more than this can handle. Which is why I need the splitters. This one's already capped out. Then continue down this way and we'll see the concrete stuff. Alright, so just looking at the notes. Yeah, it was the stuff from last week was Darksiders for the Forbidden Lands, that DLC and the review for it came out. This one doesn't mean so much. XFX leaked Enum Border RX 5700 series cooler. Since then, I think everyone's has leaked or been officially revealed. But yeah, this is a constructor. So it's taking the limestone and making it into concrete and then sticking it in there so I can... So that covers that. And there actually is another thing from this week that kind of relates to the Enum board stuff for the 5700 series. Then the OpenXR reaching 1.0. So the 1.0, that specification. That is actually really cool, even though I think most people won't care. The Trident Z Neo stuff launched. Well, the new 3800 megahertz with cast latency of 14. So not only a high speed, but also pretty short latency, pretty low latency. Some G-Skill there. That's targeting the new 3000 series Ryzen processors. And part of what's important with that is that those and my mind just half turned off. Oh yeah, that's why I stuck something in. Did I stick in a green power slug?
The crystals on this slug can be harvested and converted into a power shard that functions with current Fixit technology. Several buildings would be capable of performing over 100% capacity if infused. The derived blueprint is now accessible in Hub Tier 1.
Okay. So get that going. That back in those. Okay, so let me show you how that works. Here. So if I invest into this, I will gain the ability to make power shards from the green slugs. The yellow slugs can give you 2, and that's a different recipe, and then this purple that can give you 5, I think it is. Maybe it's 3, I don't... It might be 5. Purple slugs are very, 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 very powerful. But then you can stick these into things. Buildings. There we go. Sometimes it takes a while for the mind to kick on. Oh, fine. Nope. That's fine. But it will allow you to overclock, which increases the production speed, but the power also increases quite a bit doing that. But yeah, so there was the Trident Neo stuff that I was just talking about. That's pretty cool. But yeah, it's targeting the Ryzen 3000 series, which is part of the reason why it is at the 3800 speed. Because that way the 1-to-1 ratio with the Infinity Fabric will have it at 1900 megahertz, which looks like that's the top speed you'll see for the F clock, the fabric speed, in most, well, shouldn't say most, because it's Silicon Lottery, but that's where some people are seeing it cap out. Those in? Those. Yeah, for the iron rod. It's actually kind of neat. Buildzoid on his actually hardcore overclocking did a couple of videos looking at memory speed and the fabric speed, and found that because it is actually possible to set the fabric speed manually, or at least for some motherboards, in some BIOSes. So he was finding that there could in fact be benefits to setting that higher, even if that means you're not at the 1-to-1 ratio. Then I have a note about something that Devourer did. This is still from last week. I'll come back to that in a little bit though. And then there's yeah, I finally got the beta invite for GOG Galaxy 2.0. That's the GOG which is owned by CD Projekt Red. They'd had their Galaxy launcher for a while, and I've been using it since. But Galaxy 2.0, that is supposed to allow you to have not only your GOG library, but also it can see what your I'm gonna need it. See what your inventory, what your libraries are for other applications as well, other launchers. So you can have Steam, Uplay, Origin, Microsoft, PSN. I think PSN is in there. Let me quickly look, because I have it. I can't. Huh, that's interesting. Epic Game Store says connection lost, but that is one of them. Yeah, so GOG, naturally, Xbox Live for the official integrations, and community integrations that are popular: Epic Game Store, Origin, PlayStation Network, Steam, and Uplay. Curious. Alright. And then it can have all of them shown in the one library that you see, which is so awesome. Okay, that's perfect. I need that much wire. But yeah, it's really, really nice to have all that in one spot. Unfortunately, the way it will launch something, like if I were to launch this game, which is through the Epic Games Store, with it, all it would basically do is just call up the Epic Games launcher and then launch it. So it's not like you can circumvent a launcher this way. Unfortunately, you also can't, at least not yet. Hopefully they'll add this, because I want this. You can't have it inject the GOG overlay into the game. Which I would like that, because I like being able to take screenshots. I mean, I could, in theory, try to get the Steam overlay to do it, and shoot it in that way, but it's like that's gonna be, again, kind of roundabout, and I just, since GOG will already pull everything in, I'd like it if I could tell it, yes, use your overlay in this so I can get the screenshots. Now there is a photo mode. In fact, there. See? But I never remember about it, to be honest. I seriously don't.
Conveyor belts can now merge and split to increase the complexity and efficiency of your factory. The productivity display will help you measure and improve the productivity of individual buildings to aid with optimization.
Come on, go away. Go away. Go away. Go away. Why are you not going away? I don't know why that's not. Oh, I can't do that. Okay, that's a problem. I am doing this on the Friday, like I have been. Okay, so yeah, finally got that, and it would be nice. That's really the thing I want, is the consistent overlay between them, so that I can have the overlay, so and screenshots everywhere. Then
R&D wishes me to tell you these colored petals are useful for two things: dating and creating color cartridges. Mandatory reminder that you are under 24/7 surveillance. The derived blueprint is now accessible in Hub Tier 2.
Okay, so unless I can find one of those, then what I can do in that. What do you need? You still need stuff. I just don't remember what it is. Okay, that's a lot. Alright, so time to get to work on connecting some things here. But I want to address all this stuff first. Then at some point I'm gonna have to go on an adventure to find hard drives. That they are what you need for unlocking alternate recipes, which can be very powerful. I'm actually going to turn it off. When I get down here, I'll show you what the production meter does. Alright, so what else was there? Galactic Civilizations got version 3.8 release, which looked like it was mainly like quality of life kind of stuff. Which is good, definitely good to have. And yeah, that's about how simple as that is. I still have the game installed. I really do need to get back in and play it some more, because it is a fun game. I do enjoy it. It is among my favorites for a reason. I just haven't had the time. Second Gen Epic launched, that was actually 2 days ago. And yes, I realized, and I tried to acknowledge this in the news item I wrote up. Yeah, they're server chips. And that's not what we buy, that's not what we install. But server chips from AMD are very important, because that's also what the Threadripper CPUs tend to be. It's like, I have a 1950X in this machine right now, that's what I'm using. And physically, it is nearly identical to 16 core. I feel like something. Nope. Alright. To 16 core Epic. But because of how the Epics are set up, it has, like, I have quad channel memory, it has octa channel, 8 channel memory. And I have 64 PCIe 3.0 lanes on the 950X. The Epics have 128. Wait, no. Yes. Yes. And now the new Epics that were announced have 128 lanes of PCIe 4.0. Okay. It's a lot. That is a lot. It's an awful lot. Yeah, I can do this. Yeah, turn that off. Need that. Yeah, so it's not as though it doesn't matter. The Epics do matter, and also I made the point that data center stuff like that, like the Epic CPUs, that's where AMD and Intel make a lot of money. So their success, and a lot of the reviews are for them already, are very, very positive. Could have sworn that wouldn't launch. I guess it isn't actually a alternate recipe, but because those don't cost, well, those don't take the time away. Do need this. Jump pads aren't so interesting. Walkways are actually useful. These will become useful, especially that, but other things first. That is nice. Steel production is... Oh, I'm actually going to need that because the thing needs motors. But not just yet. That neck. I actually have enough of that right now. Need to turn this off. But yeah, so this is the overclock stuff. So I can even underclock it if I want to. But you can push it up all the way at that, and it increases the power usage quite a bit. It's in my mind. Oh yeah, the Epics. So yeah, it is actually important what is being achieved with that stuff, because it will help fund future CPU development from AMD and also potentially the GPU development. But also personally, it's like I really love my Threadripper. I'm looking forward to what's going to be possible with that platform, DR4 platform in the future. Okay, so the next thing that I have is about the 5700 series. Again, so yeah, a number of XFXs. Actually, it looks like they will have two different custom coolers. One is what leaked, and I kind of agree with how people were saying it looks like Wally. But there's another one that doesn't actually looks better. Not like, you know, the Wally face. If you've seen the image and you know what Wally from the movie Wally looks like, you know exactly why some people would describe it that way. There. Okay. Alright, now I just need these. And I hate screws. Everybody hates screws. Alternate recipes that let you get away from screws are wonderful. But Sapphire's Pulse leak, the actually gonna need a lot more than that, but focus on this stuff for now. Asus announced theirs. MSI has been showing some off, as I recall. Is that? Yes, that's actually gonna leave me with a few extra. Oh, drat. That's
Milestone reached.
that's a
To
little
an inventory
annoying.
expansion, you are now capable of removing foliage that consists primarily of wood.
There. There. Alright, so a lot of a number of things. Who else? ASRock, we already know what theirs looks like. The Challenger, you know. Yeah, a whole bunch of the add-in board cards have been either leaked in one level to one level or another, so we do have a sense of what this stuff is going to look like. But the other thing that has also appeared is there's reporting that, and this should be considered a rumor, that AMD is already end-of-lifing the reference designs. And apparently PC World, at least, probably other places have as well, have reached out for clarification on this, and the response seemed to read along lines of AMD saying that it's not like the 5700 series itself is end of life, which would be silly to believe that. Alright. There. Now need this stuff. Let's see. You'll see why. But it makes it sound like basically AMD has so many things. You gotta love it when my brain turns off. It becomes so useless. AMD has so many of them already made, so many of the reference design 5700s already made. And it looks like what AMD is saying is that, yeah, when those run out, we're not going to make more of the reference boards, but, well, the reference cards themselves and sell themselves. But the reference kits will still be available to the end-board manufacturers, and naturally the GPUs that are produced will be available for the end-board manufacturers to use then. So it's more of a, they're not going to be competing with the end-board partners, that they're going to be the primary source for the GPUs in the future. Which makes sense. It does seem a little sad though, and that you're not going to see them continue. The reference continue to be made at least by AMD, because like at least the 5700 XT, that shroud actually does look kind of nice. Yeah, the dent in it is kind of weird looking, but it still is, you know, it looks nice. At least I think it does. But one thing, I can't imagine that we wouldn't see. You get a lot of the stuff when you do that. This. Well, I also need that. I'm definitely gonna need to make some more wire up. But a lot of times the reference board designs are what, like for custom liquid cooling blocks, like those are already available. So I'm sure that those will still be made. It's just a matter of, you know, who you're gonna get them from. Who's gonna be making them. There. There. Perfect. Alright. So I need quite a lot. So yeah, that'll be interesting. Assuming that interpretation of what AMD's response was is correct, and the boom itself was, well, really just a response. That's all you need to worry about. Alright, so anyway, my plan here, in case you were wondering, I want to build up more of the coal power, and I'm going to, now that I have the splitters, be able to set it all up, so that way I can do much. Once I build up more power, I can do a lot more automation back here. There. Rods are actually so useful. I'm just gonna get all of them. I'm just trying to think. Is there any other news I'm just not thinking of? I don't have it in the notes here. Trine 4 and Trine Ultimate Collection is coming in October. Both of them are coming in October. I don't remember the specific day, but I actually am kind of looking forward to that. I haven't played Trine for quite a while. I have Trine 1 and I think Trine 2. It's Trine 3 I don't have. Perfect. And then obviously Trine 4 I don't have because that's not out. But I did play some of Trine, and I did enjoy it. So seeing more coming there would be good. Oh, I just remembered something else. AMD released the some documentation, some like architecture documentation for the RDNA architecture in Navi. So it basically goes into, and it's fairly technical, so a lot of it I didn't understand. Maybe you can. But explaining, different advantages that it has, especially over GCN. But it's still, for the most part, the stuff worth being aware of is it has the lossless color compression everywhere, so it will be much more efficient with bandwidth than the GCN derived architectures were. So that's this 7000 series, well 7800 series, all the way to Vega. So that's my mind. Yeah, because it's still, those did have color compression, at least Vega did, but it wasn't in as many locations. So there's that. But it's also, the main thing is how they changed the compute structure too, because one of the issues that you saw with Vega, and it would be true for other others as well, other GCN based ones, is sorry, I'm just need actually a lot more. I can grab more copper as I go. Just gonna invert all this now. But one issue that you had, and this was very true with Vega, and was something that confused people for a while, because like, why is the Vega 56 able to get so close to the performance of the Vega 64? It's like there's 8 more compute units to the 64. Why is it that overclocking gets you basically on to parity? And the reason, well, partly, is that compute unit efficiency was not that great. Just the way GCN was designed, it was very possible for not every CEU, not every compute unit to be fully loaded. So when you did have a game optimized in such a way that it would be able to fully saturate the compute units, Vega was very, very good. But when not, then like the efficiency of the card wouldn't be as high, which hurt it. With RDNA though, they changed that as well. Yeah, two. So I'm just taking care of some real life stuff, so I'm not looking at the screen. Missed my turn off for that reason. But talks about that stuff there. Also that they changed, Vega at least had the ability to do 64 wave width instructions. It's a little weird. The same terminology as wave for NVIDIA is warp. But Vega was set up where it would have 4 16s. Four units that could do 16 each, so it could do 64 across all of them. RDNA changed that, where it's now 2 that do 32 each, so it's actually a native 32 wave thing, whereas GCN was set up more for like a native 64. But it's still able to do, RDNA is still able to do the 64, it just needs to combine the two, and it's fully capable of doing that. But this, and also it's redesigned to being work groups, makes it now not only the scalable, AMD talks about how it's a more scalable architecture, but also it helps the compute units be fully saturated, which makes them much more efficient. So you get more performance out of the same thing. I mean, think about it. RDNA is, and I don't know if anyone has done the stuff yet where it's you compare the architectures by running like both Vega 64 or 56 and the appropriate 5700 series GPU at the same clock speed. Don't know if anyone has done that yet. But that is something that would actually help how, even though the 5700 XT is 40 compute units, so fewer than 64, but it's able to come against the Vega 64 or surpass it. Here. But that added efficiency helps it there. At least I'm pretty sure that's part of the reason why. Okay, so there's a hole here. There's also a hole here. I think. Yes, there. Is this a splitter? Well, I need it to be a splitter. Alright, so what I'm building here, if I can get to it, is a manifold, which I much prefer to the balanced splitters. Yes, they're just so much easier and extensible. So the idea is it's a little bit of a problem. And I also just realized that I kind of killed the power. It's actually not that big a deal. Best part about doing this? Go to the coal I have. I really don't need it. Alright. That I think is actually right. Okay, so now we can watch how this goes. It'll come in, it'll split, in this case evenly, one here, one there, one here, one. See? Just like that. And then when it gets to here, it splits again, so yeah, it does get less and less as it goes, but the result is that with enough speed on that, it'll eventually fill them all up. Like, see, this one's already full, so it's just gonna keep going. It's northwest, that, well, oh yeah, might as well just stick it there. And I need more wire now. Yeah, I'm not sure what else to talk about for the news. I did just see something that there's rumors concerning the Navi 20 series. That's going to be a weird way to put it. The Navi 20 series dies. Let me try to... hopefully I can make sure I have this right. Well, explain it correctly. 5700 series is using the Navi 10 die. The one 5700 has a little bit more disabled than the one the 5700X. Okay? And I'm just watching for this to finish. There. Alright. So the yeah, it's kind of nice that this lines up this way. And now if I look, maximum capacity 200 because I hooked all those. So yeah, what we currently have is Navi 10 and stuff for a Navi 12 and Navi 14. The numbers don't mean anything, by the way. It's just like, well, previously AMD had said that basically the numbers are the order they developed the stuff in. So 10 was developed for 12 and that was developed, or at least initially named, plotted out, put up on a whiteboard ahead of 14. Whether that's still actually the case, I don't know. You know, this is something that's helpful. If you just do that, you wipe out everything in the area. It's a lot easier. That's so... Okay. So, Navi 20, those would... When you see the first digit with AMD at least change, that indicates that it's actually meant to be like, you know, a new generation to it. So, like Vega 20 is the 7 nanometer Vega that you see in some of the professional cards, but also in Vega 7 GPU. Sorry, Radeon 7 GPU graphics card. More accurate. There. What do I need? Oh, I can do it now. Perfect. Actually, I want to go that way. There's a reason I'm having to go that way, because I want to be able to have more coal on this side, too. And it's just going to be a little bit easier. This side, if I have it come down this way. Perfect, but it'll do. Actually, no, you off. So the Navi 20 dies would be like second generation Navi, which would, in theory, then be the second generation RDNA, which is supposed to be, well, AMD has stated second generation RDNA 2, is when we will see their version of hardware accelerated ray tracing. Two. Here's a method to my madness. Promise. There. Oh, forgot to do that. Alright, so now I have 120 coal per minute coming this way. This only goes at 60 per minute. These conveyor belts, and this is also 120 per minute, so 240 per minute going in there, and it doesn't matter. I would kind of like to get that hooked up to get a miner hooked up there, but it's I don't have what I need for it at the moment. This up, and there's some I do want to at least put down a few constructors to handle the fuel. Okay. Because I hate having all this all the leaves and wood on me. So yeah, supposedly the rumor is that Navi 21 and 23 are going to be the high performance enthusiast level ones that will come out sometime middle of next year or early next year. Which I'm my own feeling intuition, because other things I've seen, Navi 12 and Navi 14, we're already seeing code for that appear in the Linux drivers, and I think the expectation is that Navi 12 is the big Navi chip, so that would be what would replace Vega 56 and 64. And then Navi 14 is a smaller one, so that's more what would be replacing the 500 series in the current line. So that would be the 5600 series, and Navi 12 would be the 5900 series. And that makes sense to me, because it doesn't make sense to me that AMD would wait until next year to put out something that would compete with the 2080 Super and 2080 Ti. Although I could believe that the 5700 XT, as things get optimized for RDNA, I could believe that it could punch towards the 2080 and maybe the 2080 Super. I could believe that. It's already able to punch towards the 2070 Super, and that's without optimization for it. That's benefiting from optimizations from GCN still. So I can believe that. But I don't think AMD would want to wait that long. That's like waiting 9 months to fill out the product stack. I don't. But it's also seem weird to have it be 6 months between new high-end parts, and with the newer one then being the one with the ray tracing. I mean, it's all a little weird, I think. But also I do want to see what they do for ray tracing. I am very curious about it. How many of these do I have? 3. Yes. And I also need some organization. 2. Whoa, that's not what I want. 2 of those. 2 of those. 1 of those. I've made this before in my main save, so it's not that hard for me to visualize and figure out what I want. I'll put it down here. I want to clear out. Yeah, I do want to see what they will do with ray tracing. But I'm looking forward to that, and it's like, right now I don't have any reason, though it is tempting, as an idea at least, to get a 5700 or 5700 XT. But now I'll wait and see what they offer for the high end, so I know I'll have a GPU that will be quite powerful for quite a while to come. But it's just, kind of silliness in my mind. I'm sorry, my mind is just being split between what I'm trying to talk about and what I'm trying to do here. But it just doesn't seem that likely to me that AMD would wait that long for the high-end part. Because I know some people would say, but AMD hasn't had a high-end part to compete with NVIDIA for so long. What's wrong with them waiting even longer? It's like, well, yeah, they don't have a part that does directly compete with the 2080 Ti. That is true. But they do still have a high-end part. They have, the Radeon 7 is a high-end part. No matter what you say or what you think, it is that. that is its place in the product stack. It doesn't make sense to me that they would wait to have something to have its successor. That they would wait that long, because the Radeon 7 is... A lot of people kind of make fun of it. I mean, it arguably isn't a gaming GPU. It's a very good prosumer card, though. Like, if you want to do various kinds of video work, it's very good. But that's not what people want for it. Alright. How do I want this? That'll work. Oh, I screwed up a little. Just a little bit, though. It's not that bad. One, two. Yeah. Trying to place this all correctly is tricky. Okay. Rid of these. Yes, I have no idea when AMD may put out a new high-end GPU. I personally would doubt that they would wait until next year. It just doesn't seem like a good idea to me to wait that long. Although, to be fair, you can probably expect NVIDIA to have their successors, whatever that is, whatever that's going to be called, to the current series, to their series, potentially this year, late this year, or at least announced late this year. Why am I doing it this way? I think I'm overthinking. Oh, no, that's why. That's why. Well, no. See, I want everything to be neat. And that just makes me constantly redo things. No. Which is that? There. Okay. I need these set up. I actually need a third. That'll do. Alright. This is going to make biofuel. This is going to take leaves to make biomass. This is going to take wood to make biomass. Now, in the other save, I have a smart splitter that will sort them for me. I don't have that now, though. Smart splitters aren't until much later. Kind of a problem. That's north or northwest. Yeah, I'll just... Now, you are leaves. So So yeah, I'm just gonna have to do it this way. Which isn't ideal, but I can get the job done. Wood. Isn't it control? Yes. There. Yeah, you take Mycelia. I haven't done that yet. There. Perfect. So now that is making biofuel for me. I'll probably be stopping soon. How long have I been going? Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna stop. There. But the next thing I will be doing, I might do this off camera, is just setting up mergers so that these two, because they're both iron, they come together, go into then a manifold of the smelters that can then be split and go into manifolds for constructors doing the things that I need, the other things I need. My thing is, I do. I'm gonna do this as well, but this, well, it doesn't. This I can do for stopping. Oh, hey, what would it be for the steel? Yeah, let's actually just do it. Go all the way to this. What else is there? Oh yeah, something else. Metal Wolf Chaos XD came out. Oh yeah, and there's also the Borderlands 3 stuff. See, I'm still remembering to talk about. Yeah, oh man, I'm so glad, because I've been getting the emails about, you know, the character profiles for Borderlands 3 characters. But it's like, I'm sorry, I don't, and this is me just basically talking to myself, I don't like doing just, hey, here's a new video. It's like, no, I want my news items to have writing. But thankfully it's like, okay, we got the fourth one, so I can do something writing them all, but it's also, hey, here's the interactive skill trees for them, so you can look at and plan out your own thing. And man, I will admit that the hero choices, character choices for Borderlands 3 does annoy me a little bit, because it's like, on the one hand, I like robots, so, you know, the character Maz, I think it is, with the mech suit, the giant mech suit, it's like, I like this. But then it's like, or there's Flack, who is an actual robot I can play as, but he's a Beastmaster. That, I'm not exactly a pet guy in games, that's not really what I go for. But I was looking at his skills. I was mainly looking at his skills, I wasn't looking so much at anyone else's. He has so much health regen that's like, yeah, whenever I may get this game, that's what I want. I want that. Because I just immensely enjoy having health regen. The harder it is to kill me, the happier I am. So yeah, I am looking forward to see what comes of that. Now so many. There. Perfect. 30. Alright. And I can get rid of the split. Oh, I have enough iron plate. That's. Yep, I'm gonna. Oh wait, no, I'm not. And Metal Wolf Chaos, that's out. And I don't think it'll be a problem if I say that. Yeah, I played it. I wrote up the review. It unfortunately I wasn't feeling well. That was impacted by it, so I got to that a little late. But I don't think it's a problem. I mean, the game is out. Hopefully the review will be out before long. I enjoyed it. I'll just leave it at that. I did enjoy it. Like, you can read the review, watch the review playthrough, you can do all that stuff. Oh, 1820. Okay, so then leave it for a little bit. So yeah, if you're interested, you can wait and see. It's an amusing game. What else can I talk about so I don't risk spoiling anything there? Think. When is Gamescom is coming up, and there were more announcements concerning that, like Square Enix. They were talking about the stuff they're bringing, including the Marvel's Avengers game, which I am unsure. I still am unsure how to feel about it from what I've seen. I mean, it's just I just need to wait and see how it's gonna be. Simplest way to put it. Need to wait and see how that looks. But that is next year. I just don't remember when. When is that coming out? Is it? I feel like it's actually sooner than I think, like March. But I do wish them luck with it, you know, even if I'm unsure right now with how it may go. Oh wow, I'm gonna need a lot more iron about it. Because they want it to be a multi-year thing, and I mean, we've seen with other games that are meant to be multi-year that it's like it may launch in a poorer state than it ends up in because they keep working at it because they're passionate about it. And I am curious, and I do hope that it does turn out well. In part because I really did enjoy. I loved playing Marvel Heroes, and it was definitely a big disappointment when that had to shut down. So to see another Marvel game that may be spiritually similar in that it's the, you know, large contingent of heroes you can play as, and with more heroes being added, new chapters to the story being added over time, that's all to me like that kind of, you know, tugs at me to give it a chance, and hopefully I will get to. 3, 2. I hate having raw materials unused in my inventory. But yeah, that's gonna be there. The Final Fantasy VII Remake is gonna be there. Trials of Mana? Tales of Mana? That's gonna be there. I'll admit, I don't pay as much attention to the more JRPG kind of stuff because I personally don't have as deep an interest in those games. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me.
Milestone
lack of talk.
reached. Steel production unlocked. Foundry and improved miner included to ensure efficiency of new pipelines. A collection of new, more complex parts is now available for crafting.
17.1,
This
20, right?
mycelia can be used to create fabrics. The derived blueprint is now accessible in Hub Tier 1. Additionally, R&D has requested extra samples to determine the cause of an anomaly.
Oh, I might as well do that straight away too. What other? Oh yeah, that's right. Also, the pre-order stuff for Shenmue 3 has been announced. I don't have a deep interest in Shenmue 3, to be honest, and I couldn't find a public press release on it. So I didn't take the time to do that because it's also I'm still not feeling perfect, not feeling great, and I've been focused on other things like the Metal Wolf Chaos review. All right. Well, anyway, I got what I need for the fabric. I'm gonna need to build this again. Yeah, that. But Miner Mark II, Foundry, had the assembler for a while. These, which I'm not really gonna worry about. Take all of them. And my mind keeps showing up. What other stuff was there? Oh yeah, there was the new Mondo Acer announced with the 240 hertz, I think it is. Actually, it's two Mondos. Only one is available now. That's the 24-inch. The 27-inch is coming later. Later this month. One thing that I'm unclear about is if the 24-inch is 1920 by 1080. I'm not sure if the 27-inch is as well, because the page for the new series, it's the Nitro XF2, I think it is. The, Satisfactory does this to me, by the way, where I just want to keep going. It's part of the reason why I love it. The 20... on that page talking about the series, it does talk about 1440 by... No, sorry, 2560 by 1440. It does talk about it. So I don't know if that should be taken as the 27-inch will also be... Will be 1440p instead of just 1080? I don't know. That'll be kind of neat, though, to see a 27-inch 1440p monitor that's capable of 240 hertz with the right overdrive sub-millisecond response time, but response times can be fiddled with, can be massaged a little bit. It's all a little... Monitor specs are all kind of like that. What else, though? Geez, I just realized I'm going to do this. I'm not going to have any of the other stuff left. There. Stuff I need for the wire. Also, get water. I'm gonna build a space factory. Don't worry. That's how I'm gonna end it. And I've also kind of forgotten what I was talking about. I hate this when my brain does this, where it just forgets what I was just talking about. Oh boy. I feel like it's just gone. Oh yeah, the Acer stuff. The Acer monitors. So yeah, 27-inch with those specs could be nice, and it also... I'm unsure if it actually is HDR. It was saying that it can take and work with HDR, the HDR10 specification, which doesn't necessarily mean the monitor itself is HDR. That may just mean that it can be sent the signal and can do something with it. Because I think it still said that it's like 75% was DCI-P3 or NTSC. I don't remember which, but it's like that's not enough to be considered wide gamut. Yeah. But I will say that personally, what I want to see in a monitor would be 144 Hz, 2560 by 1440 with at least the color gamut, the wider color gamut that you see with HDR. I don't care so much about the brightness. It's like 1000 nits of brightness, you are insane. That is super, super bright. I'm saying my monitor, as old as it is, I have always run it at its lowest brightness setting, and it is plenty bright for me. I don't need something into these exceedingly high nits. I will grant the local, the full array local dimming, FALD stuff where it can reduce the backlight in certain areas. That's neat. I like that. But I got other stuff. To me, it's mainly the gamut that I want to see. Where do I build this? Can I build it on the water? I'm not going to, because that'll be a pain to deal with. I'll build it right here, where I'm standing. If I can get up. Please help. Let me up. I can't get up. Alright. Come on. I did just have it over there. Can I put it back? Oh, it looked like there may have been a spot. I also want to. Alright. Just look at that. I'll stop the video, but start, like, get back the stuff I need for the fabric. Watch this all happen. Yeah, I'd like to see that in a monitor, but we're not, and also with preferably FreeSync support of G-Sync, because I do have, and like it's a Radeon GPU, it's an AMD GPU in my desktop currently, and I kind of like to keep it being an AMD graphics card for a while, because I like a lot of the features, like Radeon Chill, and the driver software itself. I much prefer that to NVIDIA's driver software, so I want FreeSync support. And hey, the fact that FreeSync, the adaptive sync protocol, NVIDIA finally supports as well, that's awesome. That's really good to have. Alright. No, I'm actually trying to remember now. Did I show off the trains? I don't know if I did. I can... Yeah, we have trains in Satisfactory. Yeah, I talked about the... Let's talk about them. I don't know if I really showed them off, because I have built out the whole thing. My train network, sort of, in the main save. One thing though, that I hate curved monitors. Not exactly. It's more just, why are all these nice monitors being curved? And it's like, I can't use them because I like the Tobii eye tracker. It's awesome to have. Don't worry about that. That's a way you can get things angled that I want to remember. So I built that there. This is actually here. Let me show you. So this is where I am currently. The place where... Why is this not loading in? There it goes. The location for the other save is actually right here. I'm completely serious. It's right here, and the coal is right here. So this is where the coal is. This is where I just built the space elevator. The iron would be here. The limestone down here. That's the location. So I've built all around it. Except there, I started all the way down here. But yeah, and I've got train here. Can I? Well, no, leave that on. That off. That off. So I have station here. And it actually connects all the way down here. There, and one going all the way over here too. Yeah, I just use them for the faster transportation, not for shuttling resources around, which is what they're actually meant for, but you don't always use things the way they're meant to be. Oh, you can also see here that this is how these manifolds are. And that, you know, comes out and goes out to the sides like that. Is this? This is overclocked. I don't need that. Oh, yeah. In theory, I could push that higher. I just don't, because I don't need more. That is actually the proper amount for this many of the constructors. It's just I don't have more storage here. I can change that, though. There. Woohoo! Right, and actually having more concrete production is a good thing. Oh hey, I have a lizard doggo now. I don't remember if I had that last time. Oh, how nice. I got more limestone. Alright, so then this is a train with everything I need for putting down more train track. And also for building up something that I have right there. Actually, let me... Yeah. You can have more than one train hooked up, which is nice because you can go a lot faster that way. There's a geothermal house also over there. That's what that spur is. See, I saw somebody else actually figure out the proper distance and build a tower like this, and I'm like, oh, that's perfect. That's exactly how I want to be able to go up and down. So I built them and then had to rebuild them some, because using the angle foundations is nice. And in theory, I could set it up so that I could have the trains running a loop for me, but I don't care. It's like I'm fine with just running them as I have a separate bases, so over there, that's its own thing. But just running the conveyor belts between things is fine with me. Then go this way. left. Unfortunately, the signals are kind of wonky, because it shows it... The arrow is pointing to the right, but it actually has me turn left, because apparently it's backwards. My main oil source is over to the right, but this is set to go forward more. Where you can see my main factory. It takes a while to come up, so I'm... Nope, come on. There we go. Alright. So that's my main factory right there. All that stuff being built. There's a whole bunch of coal power plants there. See, I have a lot of coal production. Well, a lot of power production. There's compacted coal, which is a more efficient coal fuel over there, and stuff for making actually some of what I had just unlocked. The oh, not that. Helps if I can remember. There we go. Tab for making this stuff. That's over there. Along with these and these beacons and the dynamite ability. That's all over there. But this is basically everything else that's solid. I get oil from way over there. It does go to some generators and go to some local stuff, but a lot of it also comes over here to be refined into stuff there. Blue is the plastic. This is rubber, which is black, so it's hard to see. All feeds into that. But let me show you how much power I'm generating. And I'm not... I could do nuclear power. I have that capability. Maybe I should actually start putting down the power plants anyway. And each one can generate 2,500 megawatts, as it says. But currently, I have a capacity of 8,700. I'm using 900, 1,000. It varies a little bit, but it's... yeah. I'm fairly good for power, and partly that's because... here? Yes, right here I have a whole bunch of fuel burners, fuel generators. Oh, I love it. I'm sorry, this is the perfect kind of game to trigger me to just spend a lot of time investing in getting stuff really neat. Alright. So just this all the way back. Turn this stuff back on. So you can see me right there. I could go over and show you, I just don't feel like messing with stuff. And I do want to get back here, actually. And there's still so much more. Because it's like, there's land over here I've never been to, stuff here, that should eventually come here. More over here. I have actually traveled over here myself, though. I've not been down here. This is actually picked up because of a radar unit that I have somewhere, or had. There's still so much to do. They just haven't done yet. It is such a good game for me in that regard. At some point, I hope they do add more worlds. But okay, so yeah, I'm gonna there's kill that. So yeah, so that was enough Satisfactory, and I'll see you next week. And I'll almost certainly be in Siege of Centauri next week. I'm just, you know, combination of not feeling so well, so I wanted something a little bit easier for me to spend time in talking about the stuff that I didn't cover last week. See you then.